This is Carica di Lancieri by Umberto Boccioni. Boccioni was an Italian artist and one of the most influential painters that made up the group of the Futurists. The Futurists made art that was characteristically dynamic, full of movement and visually restless. These characteristics were key to achieving the emphasis on speed, technology, youth, violence, and industrial life, something that was considered of central importance to Futurist artworks. Regardless of the interpretation of Futurist artworks, we can still see much evidence of the exquisite brushwork, composition, and use of color that helped the artworks achieve the above effects. The title of this piece, Carica di Lancieri, translates roughly to the charging of spearmen, and indeed, though not entirely apparent at first glance, we see the suggested form of one or several horse-riding spearmen charging towards the left. The horse's tail and hooves can be seen on the right of the painting, the rider's legs in the middle, and the distinctive spears pointing very clearly to the left. I want to draw some attention to the overall composition of the painting. Although there's an overall sense of compositional balance, look at how, apart from the central subject of the spearman, everything in the background seems to be very chaotic. On the bottom left, we have an abrupt group of what seems to be soldiers armed with rifles and bayonets. We even have the appearance of what seems to be newspaper cutouts appropriated into the artwork in the style of a collage. The very same technique can also be seen at the top right of the painting. Almost all empty space of the painting is full of chaotic lines and shapes. Look at these overlapping circles and the flurry of lines, emulating the chaos of smoke and the diffusion of dust in the air. There is a clear sense of haphazardness to this composition. Also noteworthy is Boccioni's masterful brushwork and use of color. Throughout the painting, we see evidence of the divisionist painting technique he was famous for using. The colors are almost always not well blended, but rather segmented into clearly demarcated shapes like circles and trapeziums. For example, in the more circular shapes, we can see the flat use of the color ochre. Where there is no use of flat color, we nonetheless see minimal effort to blend the different colors or conceal the brushstrokes present. It is things like the gray surfaces, interspersed with broad swaths, and smaller, more energetic strokes of black alike, that really contribute to achieving the high-contrast visual texture that gives this work its chaotic energy. Although Boccioni's painting achieves a very obvious visual effect upon a mere glance, it is really small details like this that are so interesting to take note of and that should not be missed.